Hello, this is Lisa LaRose here on Connect to Love on PRNFM, and I am so delighted you are going to be in for an absolute treat today. I'm, of course, joined by the amazing Michael J. Russo, and I welcome you, Michael.
Yes, thank you. Loving to be here.
And we have the most amazing guest, Carol Collins, who is as beautiful on the outside as she is on the inside. And we're so grateful to have her back for another session with the Awakening series. Now, for any audience members who may not be familiar with Carol or missed any of the things, go back and listen to the recordings because they're incredible. But I do want to say that she is a gifted alpha state channel for the teachers. And there are so many wonderful things that she brings and shares with us all. And so I just want to welcome you, Carol, and thank you for sharing all the beauty you do with the world.
Oh, you are welcome. You're welcome. And just for anybody that doesn't quite know what an alpha state channel is, it means that I'm awake. And I feel my mouth moving, and I hear the words as they are flowing through me, but they're not words that I had planned to say, and it's not unplanned talking. It is mediumship, and it's a very light trance state. It's like so light that you don't even, that word trance just it's a vibration that doesn't really resonate with most people. It makes them wonder what that means. Alpha is something that people can look up. The brainwave activity, we're all at beta, which is active brainwave. And when you shift into meditation, or when you shift into just the lightest bit of sleep, or the moment that you close your eyes and you just start to feel your body relax, the brainwaves slow down. And when they slow down, then the medical community has categorized that as an alpha state. In the alpha state, the brain does slow its impulses down to the body. And when it slows its impulses down to the body, then the non-physical component of us, the subconscious mind, pulls inward. And that's when it can connect with your non-physical teacher and receive healing or receive conversation. So every medium is needing silent meditation, is needing good, healthy dose of laughter. But for a channeled person, so, mediumship is two different things. It is conversation received from the non-physical place, received, and then translated into the language that you spoke first, and then presented to you on the physical. If it's presented in the mind as a thought, that's clairvoyance. But it can also be presented as spoken word out loud, and that's channeled. A lot of people use the words for, indiscriminately, but there really only is two, clairvoyant and channeled. So alpha state, it means that while I'm doing the channeling, because some people appear to be in a deep hypnotic state. Edgar Cayce laid down and appeared to fall into deep sleep, but produced words out loud. And so it runs the gamut. I'm someone that can stand up and walk and still do the channeling, and I find it fun and fascinating. But not everybody can do that. Most people have to sit down, and a lot of people have to sit down with their eyes closed.
That's true.
I know.
I've seen you do it. I've seen you channel in some very interesting places. So, like in your car driving down the road, I thought that was fascinating. Fascinating.
It is very, very fascinating. Yeah. And you're right. When you connect, I think that's what makes you so incredibly unique, because you have such a wonderful sense of curiosity, and where other people may not have continually asked questions. I think for you, it is a constant quest for more information and all the things that come through, and the teachers bring forth so many incredible nuances, and as we love to call them, nuggets of wisdom. So we're very excited to be able to delving into the show with you today. And I just want to mention, and this is sort of what my guidance came into being, and I believe, this is my own true belief, that as we allow ourselves to be in that open state, that we are guided, divinely guided. Our guides are always with us, and they connect us with the people that we need to meet to help us grow and allow us to continue to follow whatever it was that we chose to come here to do on this time on Earth. And when I met Carol, which was about maybe, I don't know, almost a year and a half, coming on maybe 2 years, I was asked to do an event where I would have a table and set up, and I said, well, I was very resistant because I don't really do that anymore. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I said yes. And shortly after that, I was driving, and I saw this amazing billboard with this beautiful face, and I thought, Carol Collins, America's Medium. Who is that? Never heard of her before. And wouldn't you know it, at the event, I set up, and I see this beautiful lady live and in person. And I thought, oh, my goodness, there's Carol Collins. But I didn't have much time. And then there was a break in her day, a break in mine. I thought, I'm going to have a reading. And when we connected, then the rest is all history. It was just so amazing.
It sure is.
It really...
There was no intention for me to do an event like that. It was a Psychic Saturday event. And the room was full of people that are, trying to use their psychic skill to, mind read someone. And that's not anything that the teachers want us to do. They want us to use clairvoyant and channeled and keep psychic from manifesting. But they said, I had a request come in for setting up a booth. And I'm like, I don't do booths. And they said, well, Carol, you might just want to try this one. The teachers did. And I said, okay, do you want me to do it? I really went back and forth. You want me to do this? And they said, well, we want you to try it. And I said, okay, I'll try it. I said, I don't even know what a booth looks like. What do I need to do? And they said, Carol, just have a little bowl of chocolate and a little sign-in sheet. It's just a little booth. And I said, okay, I'm gonna figure this out. So I went. And there you are. And that was the connection, because you and I would have had a very difficult time crossing paths if they hadn't drawn us together. And sometimes that works out, but most of the time, law of attraction guides us to people that become part of our human experience. Law of attraction is more powerful than people understand. The teachers say on average 98%. 98% of your daytime activity is law of attraction based. So that leaves 2% for intuition. And if you are a medium, then it grows by a little bit more than that. But even a medium has to learn the skill of personal guidance. So I do ask a lot of questions, though. I ask stuff about the essential material. I love Pillar 1. I love Pillar 3. I love them all, but, those seem to have the juicy details that I like. And but I like to enrich my own skills. And see what else the mind can do. Today they were showing me the energy field around my body, which is a brand new sensation for me. It wasn't a sensation, though. It was vision. And I saw this thin blue line down my arm, and then the line grew wider, probably about 3/4 of an inch wide, and it was this beautiful blue, and then it would shrink all the way down, and then they would produce it again. It was fascinating. I've never seen the energy field with my eyes before, and they said, Carol, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The cruise that I just went on in July. Yeah, the cruise in July was in the Caribbean, and the whole thing was inside the Type 1 vortex that is situated right over the Bahamas. And I spent about 2 hours neck deep in the ocean, which soaks out negative emotion. And then was doing, the channeled workshops, and I had attunements the whole time. And so it was just a powerful opportunity. And they said it will surface in the month of August, and today was the day. So there's fun things that happen. Increasing your skill, it's not all about reading. It's about what are the cool, fun things that our non-physical mind can do. The subconscious. Our subconscious is the non-physical mind. And, there's fun things that it knows how to do.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, just to carry the story on, the reason that I connected with Carol is because you connected with Carol, Lisa. And I come to understand that this little trilogy we have was meant to be, that I was supposed to connect with Carol in this life and move forward. And Carol has since made me aware, thank you very much, of skills that I have. And I've begun to work with Carol to realize those skills, and I thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome, but I do want to say it's not me. It is my body, it is my voice, but none of that content comes from me. None of the content comes from me. I mean, I say hi, but
yes, you say hello.
Their guidance.
I had a connection with the teachers, and I was supposed to connect with them. And in this we are physical beings, and you have to meet a physical being in order to meet a non-physical being. So this kind of worked out perfectly, the beauty of it, and that's kind of what I know that it's fascinating. People look at that and they go, "Well, that's kind of interesting," but no, it's fascinating when a plan comes together like that. The one that at least you set up in the non-physical world, and now here we are as physical beings, and we're connecting and beginning to realize. One of the reasons why you're here is really powerful. I know it's powerful to me, and the realization of it is mind-blowing sometimes. It can be. It can be pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
The essential material is what the teachers teach, and the essential material is existentialism. Why are we having this physical existence? What is the truth about continuity of life? What is the truth about heaven and hell? What is the truth about the nature of existence, conscious reality? And what is the physical world all about? What is the cosmos about? What are the the objects in the night sky? And what about everything and anything? Alien life. They go into that, and they dispel it as myth, but misconception more than myth. And it's like this. We are all guided, but we don't always manifest what we are being guided to manifest. And that's what the teachers are really bringing out. 98% of our active life is by way of law of attraction. Now, what is law of attraction? Emotions guide us. Emotions guide us. So whatever emotion you are working with in the moment, the non-physical mind is going and getting more of that emotion. And sometimes that emotion has a subject wrapped around it. And so that is how we get new ideas and creative ideas, and it might be how we, spark some new understanding of something or a new way to explain something, because, a powerful desire to be understood, well, that's a wavelength of thought. And so if we stay on that wavelength of thought with happiness, then we will eventually draw to us another way of explaining something. I mean, that's manifesting better communication. But if we're frustrated with our level of ability to connect and get people to understand what we're saying, then you'll come across, by way of law of attraction, more thought that makes us either feel inadequate or perhaps even some analogies that don't work for the people that we're trying to explain something to. Law of attraction is power of emotion, and emotions are magnetically drawn to us based on what we're using. And so, but that's everybody. Everybody is their own walking, talking law of attraction manifester. And so 98%, wow, that's a lot. 2% of intuition.
Huge.
2% of intuition is not much. Now, if you're a medium, then of course that 2% for intuition might grow, but verbal guidance will be, the amount that you might have. And they say, on average, a highly skilled medium is in the range of 90%. So 90% of your day is still law of attraction, and 10% comes down to your mediumship skills and intuition. So intuition is, just think of it like this. You've got two telephone lines, and you got somebody calling in, and then you got somebody push a call in and push a call out. You got incoming information and then outgoing information. It's like encode and decode. Probably not the very best example, but part of our subconscious mind draws communication to us by way of emotions and thought. The other part of our subconscious mind is the creator within, and it will create anything based on what we have in our life story. All emotions are taken into account. So sometimes you've got a good day and sometimes you've got a bad day, but it's all based on how much you've got in the grid. And that's why be happy and then, be happy and then. Some of these unique experiences, and you meet someone that's really interesting, and it just feels like magnetic attraction, like, wow, we just really connected. That could be magnetic attraction between soul friends. That doesn't need specific guidance. It could be a must-have experience that you build in, and you will find each other at a certain point in time. Or it could be guidance, or it could be really good law of attraction showing up, and there you have a new best friend or a new work colleague. You never know. Pendulum usage is good if you're not very emotional about, if you're not very determined that you know the answer, then pendulum usage is good. But, one thing that they said to me recently was, don't care. And I'm like, but I have to care because I want it to come from you. And they said, but don't care. Because if you do care, then what you're saying is, although you are saying, I want guidance, I do want my life to be manifested more from my non-physical team, but at the same time, you're saying, and I don't want my life manifested by law of attraction. They said that's an I want and I don't want at the exact same time. It's better to say, that was a powerful moment. I hope it was intuition. Because when you say, when you acknowledge that it was good, that means I want more good law of attraction moments, but I hope it was intuition, that tells the inner mind, do both. Do both, because, hey, that was a powerfully good experience. I hope it was intuition. But when you identify that it was intuition, well, it might not have been. And then the mind says, oh my gosh, now I'm confused because I created that, not my guide. And, it gets kind of funny. And when you think about it, how do you remove as many errors as possible? Just do whatever they say. And they say, acknowledge the great experience and say, but I hope it was intuition. Now, if it was a negative experience, they say, well, that was an experience. And next time, I'm hoping to manifest by way of intuition. Because a negative experience is never intuition. So I said, just, flip the sentence around a little bit, acknowledge what you have, and ask for more, acknowledge what you have, and say that you hope that the intuition manifesting jumps in and gives you more.
I love
That's
that.
amazing.
You influence. Yeah, we all influence. Subconscious mind is non-physical in nature. And I say, what does that mean, non-physical in nature? And they say, well, let's give you some details. It is 3 strands of your intelligence, 3 strands of your non-physical being, 3 strands of your non-physical being's intelligence. And you have hundreds of strands of intelligence. And you select 3. Everybody in this Earth platform, everybody selects their own aspect 1, 2, and 3. So everybody has aspect 1, aspect 2, aspect 3. And aspect 1 is the one that draws energy to us. Aspect 3 is the one that creates based on the quantity of that energy. Energy is emotions and thoughts, scenarios, experiences, subjects. And so aspect 1 and 3 is law of attraction. And aspect 2 only comes into play if you are desiring or if you're destined to have mediumship. So they say we are powerful non-physical beings, but we are in the limitation, and they capitalize that, the L, and they say what that means is we are not at full strength, and so we need verbal guidance. But the world doesn't have good medium. We have adopted psychic for reading instead of clairvoyant and channeled, and the teachers are very, very determined to alter what human beings have created. We've created psychic readings as a powerful phenomenon, powerful business, multi-billion-dollar business for the big leagues, and it's not what they're wanting. Powerful big league businesses, of course they want that, but not psychic readings.
Wow. Well, and I think we're at a precipice here on the planet where people are seeking knowledge. They're looking for a lot of answers. I think we were sort of maybe asleep, and we had a brief conversation prior to the show, and Carol explained that the teachers are behind a lot of what's happening, which I'm so grateful for, because the time has come. And right now we're recording the show right before the Lions Gate, but we're in the midst of August, and it's all about the heart connection, and it's about where we're headed. And I'm so excited. They use the word the shift, and I'd love for you, if you don't mind, Carol, speaking a little bit about that, because it's I can see it in a lot of people's eyes. There's an excitement. There's something that is, I call it a palpable shift. And so when they started saying that, it made my heart sing. So if you would mind just sharing a little bit.
We would like to answer that question. Carol's obviously
please.
Right here. She's hearing the conversation. She does feel the air around her face get a little thicker when the channeling is happening. But we would like to field that question. The shift, capitalized, because it's a phenomenon. It's cyclical, and we bring it in when the world needs it. It is for the throat chakra, as well as the heart chakra, and also the root chakra, because the green and the blue, when they overflow into the red. And so there's two wavelengths that have been brought into the physical airspace, beginning with June 1st, 2024, this past June. Those wavelengths equal an emotion and a thought. The emotion is friendly, and the thought is manifest using intuition. Those wavelengths were created by the teachers, and it's a massive quantity all over the globe. It started to enter your airspace. We added it, supernaturally added it into the airspace in the month of June, and then we started to push the non-physical mind to draw both of those in July, and we're continuing in August. And so there's a lot of people that are feeling a little bit of confusion and a little bit of not wanting to stay indoors, and then some people that are feeling rather exhausted in ways that they weren't previously. It is a hot summer almost everywhere on the globe, and that too is part of the shift. It's a movement. It's a movement. We want people to be happier. When you're happier, you're healthier. The wavelength of thought is created in such a way that the non-physical mind will see it. And because there is purity as the emotion, human beings have a great variety of emotion. We have purity. So the wavelength of thought is identified in the air as though it was human thought, but it has the emotion of non-physical beings, which is purity. And so the non-physical mind can't mistake it. It is the one that draws it into your non-physical mind, and it is your non-physical mind that creates from everything that's in the non-physical mind. And so we're pushing for a shift in the green chakra with an powerful, important emotional wavelength, which is friendly, adopt friendly. And then also in the blue chakra, use intuition to manifest. So intuition is, we're loving beings, and we're always asking each other things. We never tell each other what to do, no matter what your age bracket is in the non-physical place. We never tell a young one what to do. We ask. And so even in physical plane, we still are who we are. And we are talking to you, although a limited portion of you. But we still are true to who we are. And we ask the mind, would you manifest this? Would you manifest a good mood? Would you manifest a pleasing thought? Would you manifest pretty please? Would you manifest something that we are offering to you? And almost none of what we're offering to the mind gets manifested. That's the 2% Carol was talking about. And so we need more people to have more intuition. And we don't wait for you to struggle with it. There are ways that you can improve your intuition. There certainly are. But from a global standpoint, there's things that we can do that are faster. And so that's what the shift is. There's been generations, about 6 generations, of slow introduction of equality, and that friendly is better, happy is better, emotional intelligence, emotional IQ. Now, that wasn't anything 50 years ago. It is something now. Wellness programs in your businesses and schools. It is now. We want more of that. Meditation is becoming something, as a business, and that's lovely. We want more of that. Because when people are happy and gentle and friendly, then everybody feels better. But you don't always feel equal. And so the rich are still getting richer, and the poor are staying where they are, and the middle class are staying where they are. And so there's some movement within the shift to break some of the patterns of what the human race has manifested. We love the shift. It's not a one-time thing. This one is going to last about 2 summers. The influx of wavelengths of thought, 2 summers. Mm-hmm. It will be this summer and next summer. And after that, we'll let the world rest and also draw those thoughts in. Now, when the thoughts are drawn in, you don't draw it in and now there's less. You draw in the energy of it. It's like a replica. And so there's always going to be a powerful amount in the air, and we want people to do it. So those that are feeling a little bit of confusion or exhaustion in these summer months, your mind is absorbing. It's a little confusing. Why do I suddenly have this quantity of friendly? And so you're acting more friendly, but personally a little bit confused, a little bit undecided, because the mind is trying to adjust to the new quantity. Now, that adjustment is going to take place between September and May in a slow, time-release kind of way. And then next summer for 3 months, 3 and 3 is 6. 6 is always the breaker of barriers, and so it was designed that way. And then it's going to sit still. We want the mind of people to lean into manifesting by way of intuition, to skirt around law of attraction. Not completely. We're not going to completely take that away because it's part of the experience here, but we want the mind to use the innate knowing that its preference is positive emotion and guidance by way of intuition or mediumship, verbal mediumship. We want the world to shift into a happy, healthy environment. No more war. No more war. No more atomic bombs. No more sacrificial kind of communities. No more race-generated hate. We want no more of that. And that's why the shift is occurring now.
Wow. Well, thank you for bringing it in. I'm so grateful. Michael, I'm sure you have as many questions as I do, so I'll let you Ask the teacher.
I don't know if there's a lot of questions. I'm just I guess this is a wonderful conversation because, as a matter of fact, what you just said about no racial injustice, no more sacrificial communities, which is this planet has our society, I should say, on this earthly plane has become yes, a world of haves, a world of have-nots, where the haves use the have-nots. In a way that's just a saying I guess most people have, but I mean in terms of the inequality on many, many different levels. And this is wonderful here, quite frankly, that and it also makes perfect sense based on what I know I've been seeing, and I have seen people who've been confused and haven't really had any. It's not my place necessarily to attempt to explain it to them because I'm just barely explaining it to myself. However, I've observed, and what I love about this, you're explaining the shift, is that it's now kind of coming into, it's making a lot more sense with regard to, because Lisa and I have both heard the concept of the shift put in different language. Not this clear, not with this kind of clarity, which is what you get when you basically
speak with the teacher. Mm-hmm.
Right? That's really what we're talking about. And a lot of people who are talking about it are kind of sensing and getting bits and pieces and not really this kind of clarity. So, number one, I appreciate it. And it is, to me, it gives me a wonderful sense of, number one, relief that the teachers are have this mission and are actually instituting this shift. Because I was just kind of wondering here in the past year, what comes next? There's a lot of acting out from the very things that you just described that the shift is meant to help deal with, and the acting out, the wars, this is all people talk about now, to the point where there is no space for happiness and love and friendly and happy. And
well, we want to just back that up a little bit because well, here you are on this podcast, and this podcast is all about connecting to love, and it's about gentleness. It's about look at the world around you, adopt the beauty, adopt appreciation, adopt loving conversations, and then share them. So we would say, we pull that back just a little bit. It's not that there's no healthy conversation. It's that war in the way that the population has been moving with. It's not good. It's not healthy. But not only that, intuition is reducing. So in this modern day time, and this is not the only shift, we've done these. They are cyclical events, and they're always a little different depending on what the world's population needs. But the world does use entertainment as a way of promoting good, better, best. Good, better, best. And good, better, best is not what you need to have in front of you and absorbing it in the quantities that you are. You need to have best, 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 best. Your young ones need to have best only, not good, better, best, and also the unfortunate, the irrelevant. You don't need those. You don't need those to even be examples. Right. Truly, you do not need children's books that have glasses on a bear. You don't need that because the mind of a child does not need that. Now the world is leaning into equality, and you want the children who do wear glasses to feel welcome, and we adore that. But make them feel welcome by adoring them.
That's beautiful.
By commenting on their glasses, and make them feel like they are acknowledged. But to put it in a book, well, now it says, here you go, now you can manifest this. And it might be pleasing to do so. And if you do that, well, then the mind shifts into shy And when you're shy, you shy away from. When you shy away from seeing things, engaging in things, the eyes do get impacted. Your physical body is a representation of what you have been exposed to, not just what you believe, but what you've been exposed to. And the world is exposing each other to violence. And so, Michael, we would say with the entertainment industry, almost 100%, music industry, almost 100%. And you know, we're exaggerating, but not a lot. When you look at the vast amount of music and entertainment that's out there, your social media, your theater productions, your movies, your television, your sitcoms, you've got some very healthy podcasts, radio shows. Radio shows back in the day are still the one that are the world's go-to for gentleness. Not a lot on television that is gentle in nature. And so we want more gentle. We want more gentle because you influence each other by what you talk about. But when you sit and watch television, well, you're watching other people talk to you. You're seeing them role play, but when they role play, they are teaching you how to be a person. We want people to teach each other to be a good human. Be a good human. That's our motto. Be a good human. Be good, which means be friendly. A good human is friendly. Just be friendly. Don't worry about anything else. Just be friendly. Be friendly in your own thoughts and be friendly to everything and everyone. Be friendly. Step over the worm that's trying to get all the way across the sidewalk. Step over it. But it would be even better if you didn't look down. Because if you are a person who looks down when you're walking, then you are shying away from engaging in human life. And so we say, look up and know that your feet will be guided to step over the worm or whatever it is. And so it is. Well, it could be a mud puddle. Know that you will be guided. But law of attraction is what guides you mostly. Look up, human race. Just look up. Hang your pictures a little higher on the walls so that when you're indoors, you look up. There's so many things that people don't know. It is behavioral. And it is behavioral. And it's behavioral. And then it becomes physical. And then it becomes physical.
That's so powerful. And I think, and I believe in my heart, because I sort of feel as you were talking to the teachers, that you were the forces behind corporate projects such as the Happiness Project, where people had lost their connection somehow. And now a lot of people talk about this, and Michael and I have spoken about it in the past, that people want more happy, and they've sort of lost the path to find that. And so there's people who have that knowledge who are bringing it into different communities and maybe back into the school. So are there practices like that looking up is so powerful? Other practices that you would suggest for our audience to be better at being part of being a good human that could bring in more joy, the quantities of the gentler, friendlier that we can do ourselves?
Yeah, there's so many. And there's always so many things to do. There's always so many things on your mind and so many things on your to-do list and so many things that are half done. We want you to be friendly to yourself. And we want you to not strive so hard. We want you to be easy on yourself. And so we're going to give you one thing. You have everything that you need, almost. And the world has been saying that. We have everything we need. But the world has adopted this mindset that means that inside the cells of the body somewhere is conscious knowing of everything. And we say, well, no, that's not it. What we mean is every natural substance, everything you have in your physical environment vibrates Sumari, vibrates a sentence or two that creates healing in something or someone. And so, you have elements that you know of and elements that you don't know of. You have light and color that you know of and some that you don't know of. You have sound that you know of and some that you don't know of. But even if you don't know about them, they are still here. You haven't discovered them yet. You have plants of every variety. Carol thinks it's funny. She looked up grapes one day, and she found on the internet that there are 10,000 varieties of grapes.
Wow.
And she says, well, but they all look the same. And we said, well, they don't look the same to somebody. And 10,000 is an awful lot. But that's just one plant. And so every plant, every substance, every rock, every stream, every atom at the quantum level, the atom at the quantum level is vibrating. Now, how many atoms do you have in this physical environment? More than you could ever, you don't have a number for it. You don't even have a number for it.
Yeah.
Because it's not only in your physical earth space, but it's also in your outer space. And all of those things that you have in the outer sky, they also, at the quantum level of every atom that created the thing that they are, they vibrate. Some healing intelligence. And some things heal emotions, and some things draw emotions out so they can be healed by something else. And so you have all of that here. But what you don't have is the ability to cause the healing to be done on something specific. And that's where your non-physical team, the teachers, that's where the teachers come in. That's where the teachers come in. Because let's say that you're sitting down and you're thinking about going out to eat lunch. And you go out to your car and you notice that there's a dent in the side panel. Now, a dent is very obvious. And we can undent your car, but the mind won't let us do that because it already knows the dent is there. But let's say that you got some rust that's starting. Well, we can show you some movements so that you can stop the rust from growing and thereby extend the life of your vehicle. And so energy movement isn't just about the emotion that you are carrying. It's emotion. Let's just say this. Let's say that you have a house that you lived in once upon a time, and you didn't like that house very much. Not everybody has a house that they don't like, but let's just say, for an example, that both of you, we'll say all three, we'll say Carol too, all three of you have at least one home that you've lived in, and you didn't really like that home very much. Now, you know if you have a home that you didn't like very much, because just in the repetition of saying that a few times, your mind will give you an image, and it will offer up probably the home that you liked the least. Now, when you have that vibration, and when you have the memory of it show up in your mind like that, then you are sending a psychic arrow to the home. I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you. Now, you don't intend to do that because conversation between people could just be, oh, yeah, we lived in that little house once. It was a terrible little house. The neighborhood was awful. I'm so glad I moved. But, it served its purpose. But, wow, it was just, we were poor back then, weren't we? But, and so you might reminisce in a gentle, friendly way. But what you're reminiscing about in this instance, directly on the house, is that the house is a shack. Now, it probably wasn't a shack, but but when you say you don't like something, that's what you push. And then the floorboards start to creak, then the foundation settles, the electric wires need something fixed, or the plumbing needs to be fixed. So when you hate on a house, hate breeds hate. And so what is dislike? Well, dislike is dislike, but dislike over time gets amplified. It's like death by 1,000 cuts, death by 1,000 pricks. Those are things that the human population have brought into the physical world. Now, we say those phrases here with you because we're going to clean them up at the same time, but it is like that. A little mean, a little mean, a little mean, a little mean, a little mean over time equals I don't feel good anymore. I don't feel happy anymore. And so sometimes you have children or you have adults who are not very friendly, but that's because a little at a time they've been told that they're wrong or not good enough, not smart enough, or they didn't understand why they had to work harder to get the same paycheck. And so people have attitudes. They have attitudes. And we don't want them to have attitudes. We want you all to have more friendly.
That is so true.
Thank you.
Could that be one of the reasons, just came to mind, that this, via law of attraction, why some people seem to be living in situations, not living in situations, but experiencing more of what they actually don't want, because that's what they're attracting to themselves by their thoughts?
Well, that's the way the world works.
Yeah.
You align your energies, you align your manifesting with the emotions that you are using first. And then right behind it, it's the emotions based on what you have in your memory overall, the quantities. You have quantity of hate, even though you don't believe that you're a hateful person. But if you've seen movies, or if you've seen news, if you've seen atrocities, just having awareness of it, then you have, although hopefully not in person, you've witnessed hate being available in the world. And so everybody's got a little bit of everything. And so you always manifest based on what you are. It's temperament-based, quantity-based. You manifest based on the emotions that you're using right now. And then everything else that you have in the grid. So be happy, people. Be happy, people.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
I know, and thank you for cleaning up behind us. I think it was like a little push broom. I think there was a cartoon that's everything after a parade, all the stuff that's left behind, and we're having this wonderful parade of life. Thank you so much for cleaning us up and keeping us on the straight and narrow and guiding us. That's a good example.
It's a good example. A parade of life where everybody is booming and banging and singing and twirling and batons and trumpets and all the wonderful dancers and all the fun candy that's being thrown. Mm-hmm. And so everyone is having a good time. But after that parade is over, well, there is a cleanup crew, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
There is. Now, this is a little funny because life is like a parade. You get to hoop and holler and throw a temper tantrum or throw candy. You get to do anything that you want. We want you to do it and make time for meditation so that we can take the rough edges off. But after your physical life is complete, you will look at all the debris, and you will clean some of it up. You will clean some of it up. Those things that you know are going to attract some attention and energy on them, and you will. You're going to be the cleanup crew when you get back over here. Everybody is.
Wow.
For the debris that you left behind.
That's awesome. Thankfully.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm.
We help you out, though. We help you out, and the shift is doing that. The shift is doing more than just that. The shift is helping single-family homes, is helping small businesses, is helping spiritually based businesses, is helping to correct the wrong in readings and how they've manifested. Psychic readings are not readings. They are people that are tuning into the thought patterns and emotions of other people. They're not connecting to your non-physical team or the teachers at all. And so we're very firm on that one. We also want to help people who are interested in doing healing work, the medical community, as well as the energy community, the holistic community as well, and the physical therapy community and the therapist community. They're all healing arts, are they not?
Right.
And so we want the world's population to sit up and pay attention for just a little while and then ask questions. And sit up and pay attention for a little while means let us just breathe a little bit of existential truth to you. You have almost everything you need because there are wavelengths of healing. But if you do not know that they are here, then your law of attraction will not manifest using them. It won't. You can only manifest by what you have in the grid. And if you have not yet learned it, then it is not available in your law of attraction mindset to manifest with it. Mm-hmm. And that one, we can't draw enough into the grid using intuition. We can't. And so the world's population is working too hard. You're working too hard. You are non-physical beings, but you're not at full strength when you're in physical life. But you're still non-physical beings. And there are energies here that you don't know about. And there is healing here that you can use that you don't know about. Mm-hmm. And so the shift is bringing awareness. That's why we're teaching the essential material through Carol. It is also why we're doing good and proper readings and good and proper attunements, which is energy alignment, balancing, and adjusting the shape of the chakras. It's why we are teaching about non-physical structures in your physical airspace and in your outer airspace. And it's why we're answering any question that people have about the shift specifically. We bring in substance. We don't want substance through many different channelers because one channeler will suffice. We adopt a pattern, and then we adopt the process of teaching. And we want people to learn it well enough that they document it, and then they teach it to each other and to each other and to each other and to each other. And then you have it in the world for however long you keep it here, and then you will dilute it, and then you will forget it, and then you will be offered it again, and then you'll start to learn it, and then you'll get it all wrong, and then you'll make a mess of it, and then we'll teach it again, and then you'll get it right, and you'll hang on to it for a while, and for a while, and for a while, and for a while, and then you'll dilute it, and then you'll forget it, and you'll start all over again. And so the shift comes in that kind of a cycle as well. So the shift is incredible. Pushing for friendly and pushing for intuition, but it's also pushing psychic readings out and clairvoyant and channeled in, preferably channeled. We can control the conversation a little bit better that way. It is do no harm to your planet and the beasts of your planet and to the human beings of the planet. But do no harm. But you do harm in ways that you don't realize. When you are fighting for oil spills to be cleaned up faster, when you're arguing about who should pay for it, you're fighting over it instead of sitting and meditating and getting a good creative thought to clean it up faster. And not one time has anybody asked for non-physical beings to step in the way of mediumship to help the cleanup. Do you know that we can do that? Do you know that we can
incredible.
Do that? We could get about 20. We could get about 21 human beings that are very, very good at allowing the healing energy to flow through them. And we could, if they were using the proper movement, we could push the oil slick to the top and hold it in place without a physical object. We could do that. And it takes no belief. We just need the right amount of people to do it, and then they would have to do it for a certain length of time. So we want government to stand up and take notice for a little while and ask them questions. But
that's so
all
amazing.
All things are our desire, and the world will get some, because that's the way law of attraction works.
That is amazing.
Wow. Well, and law of attraction, for me, there's a saying that many people know, that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And in this case, it's the teachers who have appeared through Carol. And I just want to mention, for anybody that is in resonance, curious, they are ready for learning with the teachers, please go to americas-medium.com. There are monthly are knowings, there are classes, there is cruises, there's an amazing magazine that's purely channeled, the only magazine that I know of on this planet that is purely channeled. And so it's direct teachings from the teachers, and also the publishing and the books. I'm just so grateful that you're supporting humanity through this time and bringing forth the shift, because it's an amazing opportunity, and I'm just so grateful. And again, it's americas-medium.com. There's so much, and I'm ready. I know Michael's ready. I can't wait to hear how many people in our audience. Yeah, more than ready.
I agree. It's been a decade-long process of getting ready, and it'll take more time as well. I'm really appreciative of this clarification with regard to the shift.
It's been generations long, and so what did we do? Well, it's not just the teachers; it is people, non-physical beings, are adopting within their soul plan, their life plan, the physical life plan, their intention set. And they're adopting. I will identify occupation a little differently, and I will lean into holistic health care. I will, as a must-have, I will adopt wellness initiatives within my business. I will become an entrepreneur, and I will adopt. And that's how you have so many of these. So there's generations of a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit here, until it has become a little bit more like the standard. Now, the standard is not in your education system yet. It should have been, but it's not yet. It's, your wellness programs are, although children's lunchtime meals now include a little bit of fruit, but they're all animal-based lunches.
Yeah.
All of them,
yeah,
and laden with all of the things that make children sleepy in the afternoon. And so they have a little bit of fruit to decide on, but not a lot. And so you've got school systems that don't have wellness programs, but you do have government, and you've got bigger businesses that are, playing ball with each other, and everybody's adding it in. They don't necessarily like it, and they don't like the cost of it or the expectation, but, peer pressure is peer pressure. And that kind of peer pressure we like. We like it. And so that was influenced by the teacher team in the non-physical place, but that's non-physical being by non-physical being. Each of you are a non-physical being. And there are a great many, millions at a time, that have added something into their life plan. I will do my part and add something here and there. Now, Carol was talking a little while ago about some challenges. Becoming the essential material channeler, that's not an easy thing, because she's done quite a bit of isolation time to have us teach her the material, because when we teach her, she is meant to ask questions for the population, and that's how we write these books. So she asks questions, and then we answer them on video camera. So it's this back and forth two-way dialogue. And so it's very, very powerful. But there's also some challenges, like recognizing what it feels like to go from professional work, long-term professional work, into spiritual work. And a great many people are recognizing that a little bit later in life, they'd like to do something more gentle, more spiritual. And they don't get recognized by family and friends for doing something proper or professional. And so there's pushback from family. And so, there's everybody builds in at least one challenge. And those challenges are not meant to be a hardship, because sometimes they are. But if you overcome the challenge, then the memory of it is here in the world for others to lean into. And there's more of that happening now too. So there's more thought help, because some people are saying, but I did it. I figured it out. Me too. I figured it out. I learned how to cope. I learned how to overcome. I learned how to deal with this and that and the other thing.
Well, I can tell you, Carol, teachers, and through Carol, this has been an absolutely enlightening conversation, one that I'm going to listen to again, and I encourage our listeners here on PRN FM to listen to it again. You can on our podcast, Connect to Love. Connect and the number 2 and the word LOVE. And it's been wonderful having you here, Carol, and we're looking forward to having you back hopefully next month if you can. If you and the teachers can spare the time. I know you're extremely busy.
I always fit you guys in. I love this. I love this awakening series.
Yeah.
I'll be back next month. Absolutely.
We will do that.
Please, again and again.
Yeah, to our listeners, please make sure that you tune in, share this, share the existence of the show and the ensuing podcast with the world. We're here to help you in many different ways, and the planet. It comes to understand here through today's episode. Hopefully, it's been a primer on how you can, by being friendly, by being happy, can make a real difference in the world that we're living in and the people who are living in it.
Absolutely. And all I can say is throw up the confetti of joy in this parade of life. I just, thank you so much. It's been absolutely beyond delightful. My heart is just so full with joy. Thank you both, Carol and the teachers, and Michael, for being here.
Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
All right. Bye-bye now.